Bibliophiles of the internet, my name is Adriana and today I'm here to show you some of the books that I've acquired recently over the past few months. I have a lot of books to show you, but I'm not even going to pretend like I'm one of those readers who is ashamed of their book buying habits, because I'm not. Besides the fact that I'm an adult and I make my own decisions on how to spend my money and all of that kind of stuff, I think this book haul is actually a nice mix of books that I've already read and books that I have not yet read. So without further ado, let's start hauling some really nice new books. The first book I think I bought a couple of months ago, and that is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is a fantasy book about an orphan named Locke Lamora. He's kind of like a con artist, thief extraordinaire, and he's part of this band of thieves called the Gentleman Bastards. And while I was at it, I bought the sequel Red Seas Under Red Skies because I know that I'm going to like this series a lot. It's just a matter of actually reading it. The next book I bought because it was ridiculously cheap, and that is Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King. I believe this book is about a boy who is a victim of bullying, but he has a secret way of coping with that, and that is that he can escape in his dreams to another time and place, which sounds pretty rad. This next book that I got kind of makes my life. I specifically pre-ordered it because I wanted it in this edition, and that is Quintana of Sharin, the third and final book in the Lumatere Chronicles by Melina Marchetta. If you didn't know, this is like my favorite trilogy ever. I don't think you understand how happy I am to be holding all three of these right now. The collection is complete. They look beautiful together. If you didn't already know, this is a YA epic high fantasy series, and it's amazing. The next book that I got, you guys have already heard me talk about. I've even previewed this book in a couple of my past videos, and that is Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alirez Sáenz. The first time that I read this book, I checked it out from the library, but I loved it so much and I resented returning it so much that I had to go out and buy it. After that, I purchased a manga bind-up, and that is Romeo x Juliet. I don't completely know what this is about yet because I mostly just heard recommendations for the anime series, which I am very much looking forward to starting after I finish this book, whenever that is. Basically, if you think of Romeo and Juliet, which is already a pretty damn good story, if you think of that and if you infuse it with like some fantasy, I think, and maybe some vigilante mercenary type of things going on, that's what this is. After that, I bought a book for somewhat of a shallow reason, and you will see as soon as I show you, and that is The Maze Runner by James Dashner, the movie tie-in edition. I have already read The Maze Runner. I've read the entire trilogy and came away from it unimpressed, in a word. So this was the only one in the trilogy that I was interested in owning, but specifically I wanted this cover because it has Dylan O'Brien on it. It has Dylan O'Brien on it. So no shame, no game. I bought it because it has Dylan O'Brien's face on it. Actually, I quite like this cover, so you know what? Sue me. And at the same time that I purchased that, I bought another book that I have also already read, but I needed to own, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This is my second favorite trilogy to the Lumatere Chronicles, and I enjoyed it so much. To say I enjoyed it is just an understatement. And this is one of those series that I knew as soon as I finished the last book in the trilogy that I would want to reread the whole thing again and again and again. So I thought I'd start collecting it, and I wanted it in this paperback edition, so that's how I bought it. Needless to say, I am very happy to own this, and yeah, I am going to wait for Dreams of Gods and Monsters to come out in paperback, because some things you just have to be dedicated to, and I am dedicated to this cause. And then I bought a couple of things off bookoutlet.com because that's how I do. And the first of those things was Grizz Grimley's Frankenstein. Yes, we can take a second to admire the awesomeness that is this cover. So this is a graphic novel retelling of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which if you haven't read that, you need to. It's definitely one of my favorite classics, one of my favorite sci-fi books. It's such a good story. So I hope to read this soon because I've been in a very graphic novel kind of mood, and when I get done with it, I already promised that I'd lend it to my sister because she recently studied Frankenstein this past school year, and she saw this and she was really interested in reading it. Pictures galore. And then the second thing that I got off Book Outlet was The Lover's Dictionary by David Levithan. I read this book a couple of years ago, but I've always wanted to own it because I think it's one of the most experimental, out there kind of novels, and I think it's genius. Either people love it or they hate it because it takes a lot of risks, but I really admire it as a writer. This is a love story that's told exclusively through dictionary definitions. And like I said, as a writer, I think this is beautiful. I really admire everything that it accomplished. I think it pushed the boundaries of what it means to write a novel, but I think this is one of the coolest stories I've ever read, and if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. And then I made a pretty cool purchase, and that is the Percy Jackson box set. I'll show them to you. I don't have anything better to do right now. The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and of course, The Last Olympian. To read the entire Percy Jackson series is on my 2014 goals list. I thought it would be smart to buy the entire series at once, and also, like I said, these covers didn't hurt. And the next book that I have to show you is another really exciting one. It's one that I did not buy myself because I won it in a giveaway, and yes, this is already open because I lack patience in my life. If you guys follow Ashley from Said the Story, which if you aren't, I don't know what you're doing, you will know that she hosted a Read Unspoken read-along last month, I believe, and she also held a giveaway for the first book in the series because she just loved it that much. So in case you couldn't already tell, I am the person who won that giveaway. So courtesy of Ashley, I was sent a paperback copy of Unspoken by Sarah Reese Brennan. Again, if you've been watching my videos for at least the past month, then you will know I have already read this book and I really enjoyed it, and I made a video review about it. I'm very excited to continue with this series, and I'm so happy that I now have my own copy of Unspoken because the first time I read it, I checked it out of the library. So go me for winning the giveaway. Yay! Even though it didn't really take much effort on my part. So yeah, thank you, Ashley, again. Then I took a couple of trips down to my local bookstore, and it made me feel so alive. The first book that I bought from Barnes & Noble was Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. As I'm sure a majority of you are aware, this is the second book in the Grisha trilogy, which begins with Shadow and Bone. As I said in my June wrap-up, I buddy read Shadow and Bone with my very good friend Penelope from Penelope's Picks, and we had such a good time reading that book together that we decided it would just be a crime against humanity if we didn't continue to buddy read the entire trilogy together. So we are going to resume reading this trilogy together next month, but I thought in preparation for that I should buy the book. So bonus points for me for being prepared. And then I picked up a couple of manga volumes, which you know I love my manga. To start off, I picked up the first volume of Nisekoi by Naoshi Komi. I first heard about this series on Bridget's channel, BriBookReviews. She's basically where I get all my manga recommendations from. This is supposed to be a ridiculous, hilarious, outrageous love story of shenanigans and all that kind of stuff. It's supposed to be about these two characters right here who are the children of some warring gang leaders. In order to bring peace to those gangs, they have to pretend to date one another. But then the plan gets a little bit hairy when this third character comes in, and it turns out to be this guy's childhood sweetheart. And like I said, it's just supposed to be very funny and entertaining, and I can't wait to start the series because it's exactly what I need. It sounds like a really great summer manga read. The next manga that I picked up is one that I had already read, but as soon as I finished reading it, I was like, damn, that was perfect. I need to own that. And that is the second volume of Pandora Hearts by Jun Mochizuki. I don't adequately know how to describe how much I love this series right now. I'm further into it. I'm already way past volume 2, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. This is actually kind of like a fantastical manga retelling of Alice in Wonderland, which is awesome. And one of my favorite things about this series by far is the characters, and this volume specifically gave me all the feels because all of the character development, all of the relationship development, it's here. This so far has been my favorite volume in the series, and like I said, as soon as I got done reading it, my mind was blown, and I was like, this needs to be a part of my collection now. Like, I don't even care that I don't have any of the other volumes, I just randomly have volume 2 because it was that good. And the last novel that I got, I have to give a shout out to my awesome friend Rachel from Books Undone for telling me that this book was on sale at bookoutlet.com. That is the beautiful hardcover edition of The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Before I go any further, let me just tell you, this bad boy is $25 list price. and I got it for $5. Also, the first time that I read this book, I checked it out from the library, so I wasn't able to do the awesome dust jacket reveal. Oh yeah, glory. It's beautiful and it's gorgeous. Yeah, and it's definitely a book that I'm going to want to revisit in the future, so I wanted to buy it. Also, it's beautiful. Thank you again, Rachel, for being an awesome, amazing, true booktuber friend and letting me know when this was on sale at Book Outlet. I am eternally indebted to you and your greatness, as always. So those were all the books I got, but I have a couple of more kind of book related things that I wanted to show you, and I got both of these things from my super awesome best friend Alyssa, and on the 4th of July weekend she was at Anime Expo. Being the awesome amazing person that she is, she texted me and she said, "Adriana, there are some SNK artists here," and basically the rest of that conversation on my part was in all caps. And if you don't know what SNK is, that's another abbreviation for Attack on Titan. It's the Japanese name, Shingeki no Kyojin. She bought me some Attack on Titan art because you guys know how much I love Attack on Titan, because I know some of you guys watch and read Attack on Titan. I thought I'd share these with you straight from Anime Expo. The first thing is this little sticker sheet of the 104th Cadet Squad, some of them. Well, I guess Levi's not part of the 104th Cadet Squad, but yeah, this is awesome. And the thing that just makes my life is she saw this picture and she thought of me and she picked it up, and it makes it hard for me to breathe, and that's this. And I can't even look at this right now or else I'm gonna start screaming. If you've read the series, if you've watched the anime, you know what feelings are happening right now, and I cannot express them to you. In summation, this makes my life, and as soon as I find a frame for it, I'm going to hang it right here in my filming area so that I can look at this and cry every time I make a video. My point is that my friends are better than yours, and Attack on Titan, do I need a reason to talk about Attack on Titan? No, I don't. In conclusion, I bought a lot of books and I have a lot of feelings. I feel like that's every single video that I make. So I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these books. Have you read any of them? Are you looking forward to reading any of them? I would love to know. This concludes this book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side of the page.